If you're gonna fight back against armed robbers, you gotta do it for the right reasons, at the right time, and in the right way. Hi everyone, this is John with today's active self-protection lesson. Today's lesson comes to us from Osceola County, Florida, and it shows us an armed robbery of a convenience store there that gets out of hand in a hurry. We're gonna learn some important lessons here about transitional spaces, about when to fight back against armed robbers, and if you choose to, how to do it well. It's 2:15 in the morning when these three armed robbers rush into the convenience store through the open door and surprise the clerk, who's talking on the phone and looks like he's maybe counting a till a little bit as well. And you see him come in and he just hands them the till, and these guys jump the counter, and now, we got a full armed robbery in progress here. As they're talking to him and pointing a gun at him and asking him for some more stuff, guy's emptying the till, and what we're gonna see our clerk do here when he thinks nobody's paying attention right now is tap the panic alarm. And when he taps that panic alarm, the guy who is the grab man there, the bag man, was like, "Hey man, what'd you do?" And now he's gonna come around and confront him. And the clerk's denying it. "Hey man, I don't want any of that." Now, if you go read the news story, at some point here, one of the guys, the guy with the gun, takes a shot at him and misses. And so our clerk there is just gonna decide at that point, the guy's already shot at him, to defend himself, and he actually gets the better of him and gets the gunman out of the store, and the other two run off. And this one is over and the clerk isn't hurt. Now, let's back up and think about some lessons out of this one. First of all, we see those transitional spaces and the ambush that an armed robbery always starts at. We're always at a deficit, and so the clerk is going to do what I think is his best choice in this instance, which is just to hand over the money. He hands over the till and it's all good, man. And I don't think that's a bad decision one bit, because again, he's got the drop on him completely. I don't think he's armed. Now, let's think about real quick when he decides here in order to tap that panic alarm. I don't like panic alarms because it's going to take the police 5 minutes to get there, and that's way too long for an armed robbery. But if he was to choose to defend himself, notice nobody's paying good attention to him here. That would have been his opportunity if he was armed himself to defend himself from these armed robbers. Now, instead, he taps that panic alarm and the guy sees him do it, which leads to an escalation in the confrontation. If you don't have the means to defend yourself, do everything you can not to escalate the conflict. Now, again, at some point, the guy, shot at him, so you just got to do what you got to do. You got to just choose in that moment. If he's already taken that shot, hey man, there's nothing here that's going to get any better than an armed robber that's shooting at you. You may as well choose to defend yourself, and that's what the clerk did here. Now, I love the fact that as soon as he could, he pushed that unarmed guy out of the way and went for the gun. Now, you can notice he doesn't actually have the gun, though. He went for it, but it's in his right hand, and you can see that he actually missed it there. But at the very least, he pushed the guy out of there, and now he's still seeing that there's another guy. You notice he's not completely focused on one. He's able to note that there are multiple attackers, pushes them out of the store, and ends up defending himself. Not a perfect case of self-defense here, not the very, very best, but he did what he could with what he had in the moment. He wasn't harmed, and he covered his asp.